The following podcast may contain strong language. Listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to Hallmark of Greatness Last Orders, the podcast where we look back into the films our Hallmark favourite actors and directors would rather forget that they were ever involved with. I'm Joe, and with me as always, having lost all his money by starting a violently aggressive sandwich shop, it's James.
Where does the sandwich shop come into it?
The man in the last episode who opened that sandwich shop that was like, you can't have a turkey sandwich, you're having prawns.
Oh, yeah. All right. So we're going back. Oh, because I was thinking it would be the last orders.
That was the last one you'd done. That.
No. Okay. Right.
Fucking hell, this is ruined. And in a change to what we normally do, we have some smashing guests. You might recognise their voices from the lovely Monorants the Boys, or more recently from the equally spiffing Monorants at the movies. All the way from over the sea, it's Mono and Ciara. Hello.
Hello. Hey. But Planty's on holiday and not listening, so nobody's going to recognise our voice.
Apparently he's back today and was like, I can make it, and I was like, no, it's fine.
This film's too good for you.
You have, if you want to keep in touch and up to date with the upcoming film choices and that, follow us on Twitter at Hallmark Great, all one word, or you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Hallmark of Greatness. Or if you are on the run for looking up ladies' skirts and the only thing that will clear your name is recommending a film to us, you can at hallmarkgreatness@gmail.com. Oh, what a week. What a film we've picked this week.
I'm not entirely sure what I exactly witnessed.
Twice?
Yeah, I'm still confused.
I'm not sure if I've witnessed a death or not. And I really want to get that straight because that will affect my rating of the film.
There is a big Faces of Death moment in it, I think, that we witness and then they just cut away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. What else has everybody been doing? I'm joking.
Not murdering people.
I mean, if so, this is the darkest film we've ever watched.
I mean, I watched Deadpool 2 yesterday, and one of the stunt women died in that. Like, they fell off a motorbike or something. It happens a lot. It's I guess the curse of the job. Like, I just get visions of that man from the Fast Show. Set yourself on fire and jump out the window. Okay. But yeah, I guess as much as everything can go right, everything can go wrong. But yeah, from what I read about this, I was like,
if somebody dies, do you still use the footage though? Because that's the moral quandary I'm in now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fine then.
I mean, I wouldn't personally.
Apparently, you do. Yeah, you just like change the ending.
Which show them hitting the ground.
Oh no, I knew that, but did they use the shot in it?
Yeah.
I think the bit where right at the beginning where your man falls off the cliff, I genuinely think that's.
I think that's the bit.
10 seconds before.
And he's like, "All right, use it."
I read that bit of trivia, and then when we sat down to watch it the second time, and I watched that bit, I was like, "Geez, that stuntman must have taken a hard fall."
Yeah. the hardest fall, some would say. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Whoops.
We are, of course, talking about 1982's The Sword and The Sorcerer. Based on the cover alone, this is the sort of thing I would have hired out.
Oh, definitely.
Because it has all the beats for me. Evil wizard, dude with no top on, last being mauled by a snake.
It's a strange video shop that you used to frequent.
It sounds like something that would be spray painted on the side of a van.
Yes.
But James, let's fire up the synopsis machine.
Can it be? Yes, it's the turbo event engine of Lombardy. Why not Lombardy? It's powered by our esteemed listeners, and it has come up with this. The Sword and the Sorcerer in 1982. Eva Sword is a rural Tupperware saleswoman who finds herself having to slake the thirst of the king, or else she will lose her memory. The plot thickens when Eva becomes acquainted with Keith Sorcerer, an imbecile who's involved in the local panto. A crisis ensues when people start eating each other, and the couple are forced to become all chummy. Will they reach for the same croissant at a local cafe, and their heads bang together at the lips? Yes, definitely. It's not wholly dissimilar from what we watched.
No,
I think that might have been a better film.
Keith Sorcerer, a local imbecile, is I want that on my tombstone. Yeah, just a local imbecile. Like, he didn't try very hard. The actual synopsis for this film: a mercenary with a 3-bladed sword rediscovers his royal heritage's dangerous future when he is recruited to help a princess foil the designs of a brutal tyrant and a powerful sorcerer in conquering a land. Just a land.
I'll take one land, please.
Just one land. This is wild. This whiffs of sort of Beastmaster and Deathstalker, and like I can't think of a film we've had that I can think of apart from like Willow, maybe, that has that sword and sorcery thing in it that this does. It just seems to have fallen out of style.
It's new territory for us.
Yeah, because it's normally post-apocalyptic as opposed to whatever the hell this is. Let's pile into this clown car and drive it off a cliff. We open with a load of men
different film.
It would be nice.
Well, no, the opening is from a different film. It's fucking the tone it's just terrifying compared to the entire rest of the film.
The Well of Souls thing is genuinely upsetting.
What has he got against the witch that just raised him from the dead?
I think that was just to prove a point.
She went in for some acting, though. She was doing
did
it for
big
all
acting.
of them.
I just like her genuine surprise at the fact that it worked.
So yeah, we're on the beach at the Crag of Dave. Oh, I don't know what it was. In a far-off land.
The voiceover, though, that was supposed to be Oliver Reed, but he turned up drunk, apparently.
Standard.
So they had to just get somebody else to do it.
On top of that, he also like hurled abuse at everybody on the set.
Which in hindsight was justified.
It was a bit of a fuck it, we'll do it live.
I meant Oliver Reed pissed narrating this film live with no script. Just say what you see. Okay. They open up into this cave, and inside is this tomb. The witch does some "hurry up, witch" or whatever he says. Because everyone's just and then they raise up out of this sort of primordial ooze this pretty sort of cool looking demon king thing. I thought it was anyway.
He looks like an early Buffy vampire.
It does, yeah. I put that. Zhuzha of Dalos. Yeah.
All right.
Covered in a lot of Heinz baked beans.
Dallas. Yeah. And he's been raised by Titus
Cromwell.
Oliver Cromwell.
King of Aragon. I'm sure that's trademarked. So.
Before he made any actions just with his name alone, we were all right with hating him as the bad guy.
Yeah. There's reasons for that, though, isn't there?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So he wants Dallas to help him destroy King Richard's army because King Richard is the richest king in the Kings group on Snapchat.
It's a rich land, and he will take one of them. Take one land.
Just one land. Dallas says, all right, what do I get? And then Cromwell goes, I bet you can't even do anything, you big fanny. And then he just goes, you know that witch? Watch me just do a murder on her with my spooky witch fingers.
It's fucking salad fingers.
It was. I was like, rusty spoon. Yeah, he throws her into a wall and then like explodes her heart and catches it. And I thought, that was fun.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that same effect was used in Red Dwarf.
Yes, I was going to say, yeah, with the virus.
The heart coming out was very Red Dwarfy.
He's Mr. Flibbles.
But the bit when they were raising him up, all the wall around it was made of like faces.
Yeah.
And then as they were raising him up, they all became like alive and all bleeding. And that, oh, here we go. This could be quite good, this.
Yeah. That Crypt of Souls, it was designed by the Chiodo brothers. I'm sure we've come across that before. I think they might have done some of the props for Aftermath. You know, the ones that actually look good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they get around then.
Got form. Meanwhile, the dude who's come out of the crypt, Zhuzha, the contact lenses that he was wearing reacted poorly to the muck that he was rising out of, and they ended up fusing to his eyes.
No, thank you.
He had to go to hospital to get the lenses surgically removed, and he was out of commission for some of the sequences later on, according to the DVD commentary, which is why he doesn't show up nearly as much, I think.
Yeah, because
he's like, I'll be back in Act 5. Bye.
I saw that bit of trivia as well. And I was like, oh, that's why he's barely in the film then.
Yeah, because you've got a big demon lord and he does this bit and he has a fight at the end and that's about it for him. And I was like...
Well, isn't there like one scene that follows this and then they cut back to him being killed off by Cromwell?
Somebody goes to visit him and he's got more of them hissy witches.
Oh, that's later. That's when we find out he's not dead.
Yeah.
And
then he just
and then nothing till the end.
Yeah.
Why do you need to like converse with him through witches? I don't understand that.
Listen, witches have got to get, they've got a job to, they've got bills to pay.
Witch got a witch.
Yeah.
Like that. Okay.
But then it cuts to Lord Richard, King Richard, looking sad under a tree
with his Dr. Zayas beard.
With a beard. But don't talk too loud, your beard will fall off. Yeah.
They're in the middle of a celebration. Did anyone get what the festival was?
Oh, fuck knows.
No.
The Kingdom of Aden was celebrating 20 years of peace and tranquility, which is a festival of attempted fate, isn't it?
Yeah. 21 years. No point in having that banner out next year, is there? So, yeah. King Richard's like, oh, maybe I'm just sad because I'm too good at being a king. I was like, all right, I hope you die. And then he sort of wanders off, and it cuts back to Cromwell. We get more narration. Again, the narrator seems to get bored as well and wanders off for a pint, and then comes back for the end.
All his adjectives, like 30 seconds in. Cromwell plans to kill Juja after he's weak from stabbing him. Because he conjures up some sort of thing that kills the army of this place.
Wherever they went, death and pestilence followed. That's what he says, the narrator. Oliver Reed. Not Oliver Reed.
Is Dallas supposed to have caused the death and pestilence?
I think that. No. But Cromwell's got an army. Well, he's got like 4 dudes he's always hanging around with. And Dallas. So I'm assuming Dallas just goes salad fingers at him. They all die. Let's have a sandwich. I don't fully understand. But he goes through all the other areas to get to the one land. I don't know.
Is it the last land?
Could be.
They said it was like 3,000 leagues away, which is like 3,000 miles. So it's proper far away.
No, you don't measure land in leagues. That's for water.
Well, I don't. I measure.
Oh, again, yeah, it's a
bus
spooky land.
Yeah.
But he's like, there's only Richard's army to beat now. And we've got 5 lads and a thingy. Right, Dallas, come over here. And Dallas is like, I am fucked. Seriously, lads, you could put a shift in. And he's like, no, I tell you what, stab! But he doesn't check, like, he's dead. He just stabs him. And Dallas is like, fuck this for a lark. Throws himself off a cliff. And we all assume he's dead. Now, I don't know whether you want to save this for James Fax, but
no, I was gonna cover it as part of this and then move on. So the stuntman at this point was called Jack Tyree, and he was killed when he jumped off and missed his airbags by, I read somewhere, 60 centimeters. When asked if it was ever fully determined what went wrong with the stunt, the director says that Tyree had initially misled him by stating that he had previously jumped from that location, and adds in addition, this is on IMDb, that he was a babe in the woods on the first film that he ever did, and his lawyer adds that he was somewhere else shooting a different scene at the time.
What?
So blame the guy who died. I was too green to know anything about it, and I was also over there.
And I wasn't there as well.
The lawyer was like, no, and he was over there.
But that's it. Start by blaming the dead guy.
Yeah.
60 centimeters seems like he was aiming for a very small paddling pool of airbags.
That's like I know it's tiny, like 60 centimeters is like it.
Because I've seen the things that stuntmen jump into, and they're huge bouncy castle.
In my head, I've just got like a target kind of thing on the ground. But yeah,
I don't think it matters how big the crash mat is. If you land 60 centimeters off it,
yeah, but like to be fair, we didn't see how high the cliff was. Like he could have like sailed over it. There could have been a crosswind.
Yeah,
and that robe flapping in the breeze, he's going to blow off course, isn't it? It's bewildering that, but we're all sitting here now going, did we just watch a man die? You don't see him hit the ground, but you see him flail towards the ground. And I can guarantee you no one else is doing that. No other stuntman's like, well, I'll aim 60 centimetres the other way. No. But yeah, so that's Dallas. Don't worry about him. You'll see him again.
One fatality down. We carry on to the siege of the city. So the king's son is dragged in at this point, and he's dead of not having enough leeches because that's all they prescribe.
I think they meant leech as in the old medical term for a doctor.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to put more leeches on him.
He was like losing a lot of blood at that point. It was try and put some back in.
It's either that or he had a fight with an ice cream van and he sprayed him with that red sauce stuff.
It is so sticky. That's how you get ants.
Yeah, but that was one of King Richard's sons. His wife comes in and he's like, "Get the other children and get in a boat and go away. Me, I'm going to go and fight him, and also this lad here who is also my son." He's going to hang around, like just getting in the way a lot.
Go follow your mother, but not too quickly. Also, here's this 3-bladed sword.
That is the most pointless fucking sword. Unless you're cutting hot dogs up. There's no reason for it.
Technically, it's got 4 blades.
Oh yeah, well,
that's true.
That's getting ahead.
Yeah.
This rocket-powered duvet. So he goes out to fight him. He loses, right? He gets murdered. He goes to like another guy's like, "Don't go and avenge him today. Do it later, because otherwise this film will be over." We could have got something proper
At this point, I got a bit angry because when I read the summary for the film, it was like Talon, a mercenary, and I was like, cool. And then this guy calls him Talon, and I was like, oh, that's not his mercenary name. King name. He was named his child Talon.
Yeah, he's got other ones. He's got
Webbed Foot part. They might as well call him Beak.
His other children, Webbed Foot, Trotter. So like he dies. Talon, young Talon, is riding around on this horse for some reason. He gets lamped off it by some guy, like clotheslines him off this. They have a bit of a fight. He fires one of the blades at him.
Oh yeah, because you can fire it like a surface-to-air missile.
The 2 extraneous blades act as sort of fucking howitzers. Like, it's the weirdest thing. So he stabs this one.
Automatic reload.
Did they reload?
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere as well.
No,
you got to supply your own blades, though.
He fires
and when he turns around to fire the second one. No. When he turns around to fire the second one, the other one is back on the other side of the blade.
Oh, I mean, don't worry. That's just continuity. That's not...
Well, speaking of continuity...
He fires it at your man's face, but it impales him in the back of the head.
Did anybody else catch that?
I'd say no, but I did like the fact that it was brutal. There was some good killing in it.
Oh yeah.
So he stabs the 2 of those, and then I'm assuming that's the embarrassing bit, though, isn't it? You've got to go and like get the blade back out, clip it back on, pump it up like a fucking super soaker. Like it's an effort. He manages to get away. He sees his mum and sister being captured by Cromwell. Cromwell drags the sister, or one of the henchmen drags the sister away. And says to his mum, like, swear me in as king and I'll spare you. She stabs him. Like, there's a lot of stabbing, like, but never in the heart. Always just like in the shoulder. Like, go for the heart. So he murders her in front of Talon, who then goes, no, rides off. And then we get, what was it? A decade of violence. Because, then we get, everything went to shit in the kingdom because Cromwell's, it's basically like Lion King, isn't it? Like, everything just goes rubbish. While Talon goes off to sea and becomes, like, what was it? A soldier, a mercenary, a general, a lover.
He can
ski master champion.
He can balance tires.
A slave, a rogue, a buccaneer, a general, all at once. You can't be all those things at once.
Too much multi-classing that in D&D. You'd just be rubbish. When was he a slave? This has a sequel, this film, that came out in 2010. I think
he's probably wrapped up about 50 other jobs. I wrote it down. That time. He's probably now a stockbroker, a lion herder, a escrow salesman.
No, he's into NFTs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Talons. And the T stands for Talon. But, so we cut to the village, or wherever this place is, this city, and there's a rebellion afoot. Yeah? No?
Yeah, I think so, apparently.
I think it's supposed to be back in the same city, but they just happen to walk into the convenient tavern with the really chatty barkeep, who's like, hi, I want to tell you some really secretive shit.
Oh, is that when he kicks the fuck out of Grampa Joe from Willy Wonka?
yeah, Grampa Joe's just like some harmless drunk guy who's like, how do you? And he fucking face checks him with the
He mashes him off that table.
He just slides onto the floor into a graceless heap.
He's just murdered a man.
Oh, we missed Dallas popping back up for a hot second as well.
Oh yeah, so a random guy.
I'm not dead. Yeah, who was that guy? Who the fuck was he?
Just some
He's
random
like,
guy.
I've been summoned.
He comes in and all these witches are witching about, and he says, "Get out of the way, witches! I need to speak to the big guy." And then he says, "Something's happened," and Dallas goes, "All right, cheers. The final battle is upon us," or something.
Yeah, he's going to take revenge on Cromwell, on Cromwell's wife, on Cromwell's kingdom, on Cromwell's dog, on his Netflix account. He's going to fuck up his algorithm.
Ah, mate, he's going to be putting ABBA on his Spotify. Yeah, but then he doesn't do anything. He doesn't even attack Cromwell. He attacks fucking Talon when he appears. Because he turns out he's fucking Johnny Ramone, isn't he? That was the big reveal. I don't even know who that was. Count McKelly, was it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, McKelly, I think.
I don't. Everyone in this.
It's like he wanted to say Machiavelli, but he just like forgot what the name was. So it's
everyone in this film has the same haircut and a beard, and it's filmed at night. And
everyone's got a blanket on.
Yeah, and everyone's like squinting to watch it because I watched the first one on YouTube, which is unwatchable. Like it's so lo-fi, and then I found another copy of it, which is slightly better, but it's still so dark. Like. Pay a lighting guy to come in and do some light. It can be filmed at night, but I want to see what's happening. Because, so yeah, there's this rebellion thing going on. Talon and his men, because he's now like the head of a gang of mercenaries, have shown up to go and help another king. And how many kings are there? That can't.
I mean, the rogues,
they've been waylaid on their way to assist another king.
Isn't that, Talon wants to stop in, and the rest of his guys are like, no, we've got to go help this king. And he's shut up, we're going here.
Yeah.
I've written it down as King Lambosha of Matalan, but I'm not certain that's that one.
Talon wants to go dip his wick, so he's like, hey, look, a port.
Everyone's so hardy in this film.
But it's weirdly not a sexy film.
I was
because it was described as being lusty.
Yeah, you worried about the grammatical correctness of lusty.
Yeah, it was not. Yeah. But I was kind of happy that we didn't get any of that until we got fucking loads of it all at once.
Yeah, one scene towards the end. It's
just tip all the boobs into it now.
I meant to text you on WhatsApp, like, I'm an hour into this and I think it's turned into a porno. And I've got no idea who I sent that to because I looked through my messages.
But yeah, it's like they're running through just Castle Anthrax or something.
Yes. Yeah. But that's...
So they arrive at this tavern. He murders Grampa Joe straight out the gate. The landlord, the innkeeper, is brilliant because he's like, "Oh, he's proper Renaissance fair, isn't he? Welcome, kind strangers."
With the Australian accent.
Don't worry about it. It's a melting pot. Is the one city,
the land,
the one land. And he's like, "All right, well, I'm going to go and have a sit down and a drink." Previously to this, there's been a meeting of the rebels. Because what was the guy called? Like, who's her brother?
Lord Micah.
Yeah.
For Micah, he gets captured. He gets captured because someone betrays him. But I don't know.
Chancellor.
McKelly betrays him.
Oh,
was it?
Like 5 minutes before the Chancellor's like, "You'll be king tomorrow," and then immediately he gets captured, and he's like, "Oh, such a betrayal."
Yeah, fucking Bucketheaded Wendy's going around playing all sides of it.
Yeah, that's McKelly / Joey
Ramone.
I'm pretty sure he's the one that was off speaking to old Snakey Face.
Is it?
I don't know because he was wearing a helmet.
No, he can't be. No, he can't be the one who snuck off to speak to old Snakey Face because spoilers for the end of the film.
But
because he is Snakey Face.
Yeah.
But
it was just some random guy. Malcolm.
I don't know. He's just some guy.
There's a lot of just random people in this who you never see again. Like
so many.
Like I'm looking at the cast list here now, and I'm going, "Who the fuck is Darius?"
Why did you get a name?
No, Darius.
Yeah,
I think is the guy who complains that they're not going to help the King of Matalan.
Oh,
and then shows up much later on when Captain Morgan comes into it.
Oh, Captain Morgan is a hero. Yeah. So yeah, he's been betrayed. Formica has been captured and sent to the castle. Princess Alana, who is his sister, but they do some very close hugging, which I thought was a bit inappropriate.
Yeah, there was some weird tension in that room. There was a bit of like some Blue Lagoon
bottom squeezing going on there, and I was like, the one land is a sexy place. she manages to escape. She gets to this inn, speaks to Talon, and he's like, I need you to get my brother out of prison.
Well, she gets chased, doesn't she? Is that before or after this?
No, she gets chased.
Yeah, she gets chased.
The briefest of brief chase scenes.
And then
immediately into a cul-de-sac.
They've not built a full set. They've got like...
Yeah, it's a cul-de-sac made out of doors, but none of them work or something.
Yeah, she gets... And one of the guards is like, right, let's do a sexual assault.
Without actually saying anything.
The rapey ventriloquist, as I've called him.
Oh, mate, there was so much ADR on that. It was brilliant.
His mouth moves twice and he has about 12 lines of dialogue.
I'm going to imagine...
It's just teeth the whole time.
I'm going to imagine it was Oliver Reed doing the ADR for that. Yeah, he's like, I'm going to show you my dagger now, wink. And I'm like, he means his cock. Like, it's not subtle. He gets two other guys to hold her down, and there's like a bit. I was like, oh, well, we don't get this. Talon casually comes around the corner with a giant fucking turkey leg or something.
It's a bugalow leg.
It's proceeds to say that the rapist has got a small cock. Beats the fuck out of everyone.
He does very much insult his ego, though, with that's not much of a threat.
Yeah,
it's a very
pretty
small
cool
thing.
Sort of leaning on a wall, eating your giant.
But that's such a tone
leg.
shift, though, because it's like quite serious and perily, and she's like clearly distressed, and he's just there leaning up against the wall with the turkey leg.
Yeah,
ready to throw around quips, and then there's like weird orchestral shifts.
Yeah,
there's into kind of sexy music.
There's like 3 tone shifts in about 40 seconds. It's like rape scene, slapstick violence, and then attempted romance.
Yeah.
It's a breakneck pace. You got to keep up with it. So yeah, he beats the fuck out of these two guys. One of them runs off. He goes
into a wall.
Yeah, again, pratfalls. It would have been better if we left like an outline of a shape as he ran through it, but it wasn't far off. They go to this inn, and she's like, I need you to help get my brother out of prison. And then we get like this, I assume they think pithy dialogue. What is it? You're a mercenary. You risk your life all the time. And he's like, I don't risk it unnecessarily and all this shite. She's like, 200 gold pieces. And he's like, no, I want to have a go on your fronties. And she's like, 500 gold pieces. And he's like, did you not hear what I just said? And she's like, go on then, but only once. And he's like, sweet, right? I'll see you later. That's it. Like, it's such a... That's no way. How is he feeding himself if he's just getting paid in sex? Like, wherever he goes. It doesn't make any sense to me.
And then she gives him a whole bunch more jobs to go and rescue all the other guys who got caught. And he's like, give me more money. And she's like, I'm already paying you 1,000 times over.
He's also a prick to this man who, well, actually, the man who runs the place is called Crackus, which I don't think you can say anymore. And
yeah, Jacob's cream.
And he like he says something about why have you brought me this? I want beef. And he's like, well, you've not ordered beef. And then the other one was like, can you call off the rebellion? And he's like, sure, I'll do that as well, shall I?
God, don't get the beef. Call off the rebellion. It never ends when you're Caracas.
When he says about the beef, the other guy's like, oh, I'll get the whole cow, will I?
I mean, if you're going to be snippy, fucking go for it, mate. It's because I missed again. Lots of this just seems to skip massively forward. Because then
there's the Red Dragon Archers. The famous Red Dragon Archers have trapped some rebels in a cave.
Yeah, always hanging about in caves. I think it's the same cave where Snake Face lives, actually, because it's one of the 3 locations they managed to scout. But he comes along.
Yeah. He goes out saying, I can't wait to bed you, wench. And I'm like, could you not?
Could you know?
It's just not good.
So he gets to this cave. There's like 12 oiks in this cave, and they're like, "Oh, we're trapped because the Red Dragon Archers are so good." All right, whatever.
Everyone knows that.
I mean,
the red.
They tip a lot of oil on them, which seems like a very non-archery thing to do, but whatever. And he's like, "You've got 15 seconds to comply." Talon, seeing this, decides to set them on fire instead because there's some oil hanging about. Like, it was so hard to see
all the way down because the fire spreads in a line, so he must have gone all the way down the line.
Behind him,
it's just water.
Oh, I'm just you're standing on my crops. Don't worry about it. Yeah, it makes no fucking sense. There is a good bit where he's like, draw your things, and all the fire passes up the arrows. That was quite good. But then everyone just catches fire. 2 guys run around on fire with their capes on, which I thought was fucking brilliant. I love a man on fire in a film.
Oh, who doesn't?
Yeah, because like someone's had to go, all right, yeah, I'll do it. It's better than jumping off shit, I guess. What? Oh, the fire extinguisher's full of fucking springy snakes. Oh, this is terrible. But he burns all them. The thingies escape, and they're like, "We'll show you the secret entrance to the dungeon." Yeah, it's just this gate here.
Pipe. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for security's sake. It's got a grate that can be bypassed only by lifting it up.
It requires 2 people to lift it, though, so no solo adventuring in there. They all pile in as well.
Yeah, they're like, well, we'll take you to the gate. We're only going to take you to the gate. And then they all just go in.
Yeah, well, we've come this far, innit? So they all pile in. And then an old man is there. And he's like, fucking James Brown. Spike Milligan.
The architect dude.
Is that who he was? I don't know who he was because he's just like, can't go on. Yeah.
Devereaux. Is another named character. Yeah, Devereaux.
I think he's the princess's attendant guy who was like, oh, do you want the whole cow? I think.
Right.
I could be wrong. I don't know.
Again, it's so dark and everyone looks the same. It's difficult to tell. If they'd have worn badges with their names on it or letters or something, that would have helped me out tremendously.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Cromwell's up there somewhere. Ravaging Princess Alana, who's been captured at this point, because I hate to break it to you, but there's a huge turnover in this prison as people are released and then recaptured. I've got no idea what's going on.
Oh no, it can't be the old man with the cow because he goes, "Run, princess," and then gets jabbed in the throat when they capture her in the inn.
Was it the innkeeper then who was recruiting people not subtly?
It doesn't matter. Like literally none of these people.
I think it's just some of the mercenaries.
It's just an old mercenary. He's like, one more job, just one more job, and then I can
retire.
Yeah. It was 2 days from retirement.
But yeah, he has a panic attack or something, and another one of the mercenaries sits down with him, and then 8 rats attack them. And that's enough.
I think they were evil rats, because one of them jumps directly at the screen with his teeth.
I know.
That's good, wasn't it? Yeah, that was good.
Stock footage that from another film. Guarantee.
There is a lot of stock footage in this.
Yeah, but it was good. I like that. Rats attacking people, great. How does he solve it? He sets everything on fire and walks away. The Talon approach to fucking everything.
Meanwhile, Cromwell, so he says that he's going to kill her brother if she doesn't agree to be his queen.
Yeah, because then that would legitimize him as the actual king somehow. But she boots him in the balls. That's her one secret karate technique that she knows.
Everybody's got a thing, haven't they? Yeah.
I don't know you.
He's also paranoid. Paranoid about Juja of Dalos as well, who he stabbed and then sent a stuntman to his death over. But now is convinced he's going to come back and deck him.
Yep.
So he sees that in everyone. So he's like, well, Prince Micah, who's down in the dungeon having cruel and unusual things done to him, he must be sent by Juja of Dalos then.
Yeah, because what?
Yeah.
He must be. Yeah.
That guy I killed.
But he doesn't find her complete another turn of emotion in any way suspect, because she goes from fuck you to oh yeah, do me baby, like that.
Yeah.
Like literally like white girl trying to get a free drink.
I think that was part of her plan, was to arouse him and then punch him in the Arctic. Like,
yeah, right in the cock.
Yeah.
Right in the tip of it.
Oh. It's got a little crown.
But he's so paranoid about everybody. Does he not think that that's a little bit, suspect? Or has he finally been convinced that the beard has won her over?
No, all women do that. It's fine.
To be fair, Cromwell...
That's a standard response for him.
So we cut to Sloth from the Goonies torturing Micah. Actually, bust a blood vessel. That was better, but whatever. And they've chained him up and they're burning him with something, and they put more strawberry jam on him. Probably because there's ants. All those rats were going to come in and nibble him. Cromwell's there as well, and a blonde lady.
Oh, that's his mistress who's been helping out the rebellion.
Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Or does she just decide to help out the rebellion?
No, that's in the meeting at the start when they're taught. There you have like the schematics for the prison, and she's like, "Oh yeah, your man's side piece is sympathetic to our cause," and it was like a suspicious amount of people who work in the castle are aware of the rebellion and providing details of it.
What's the vetting process to work at this castle? Because
not be dead.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Not be in the dungeon.
Yeah, not be in the dungeon, and you can't be a sorcerer.
Yeah.
After that, you're golden.
Yeah.
So, right. Does
she rocks up with a fucking charcuterie board.
Oh yeah, I thought you'd be hungry after all that torturing.
Yeah.
And also, why are you doing all the jobs in this castle?
Because there's no
He doesn't trust
go off
anyone
and-
else to do it. Everyone else is off plotting rebellions. Like,
Well, yeah, his war
Well, in
cabinet
fairness,
are like...
he's supervising at this point of the torture.
he likes it.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a clue going on.
Yeah.
It's to help the swelling from upstairs.
Yeah. Then, like, he wanders off, and then does she come back in and free him?
Yeah,
She
I think
hangs
Talon
around.
comes in at this point. And he
Yeah,
dresses the guard.
as he's wandering off, he says to a guard who's wandering in, "Kill everybody inside."
No. A guard comes running in and goes, "Oh, all the prisoners have been released, and we don't know who did it." And he leaves, and he's like, "Kill everybody in the room."
Oh, did we skip the bit where Talon releases the prisoners?
Yeah, because
Whoops.
they're all like, "What are you doing here?" And they're like, "Shut up, get out."
Okay, because that happens twice, though. Like,
It
Yeah.
happened so many times.
There's
a
a lot-
revolving door policy in this prison. Probably she'll come back, yeah.
So Talon frees Prince Micah for Micah, and he says, I owe you. And he says, no, your sister owes me.
No.
Owes you
We
what?
got it wrong because the bit with the rats, I think, is when they go back in to get Talon after he's captured.
No, the rats is what they're going in
Okay.
first time, I think.
Really?
Oh, the
It's the
prison is so
same film
confusing.
It's like the Great Escape and then escape back in again. It's so bizarre.
We're gonna bring back into the prison.
Oh.
Oh, it
So,
just
I think so Talon has stolen a guard's costume. He comes in.
Freeze for Micah.
Cromwell says, kill everyone in there. I think Elizabeth has already freed him.
yeah, he calls her
she's
his
freeing
angel.
him, yeah.
Yeah, and
Ugh.
she goes like, save your strength, you'll need it. And then Talon appears and like carries him out like fucking officer and a gentleman.
And leaves her.
Fuck her. Yeah.
There's a man wielding a highly impractical morning star in close quarters, and he doesn't look confident about it. And it was brilliant.
There was
Like he was
a lot
swatting a
of if you looked at what was going on in the background of the fight scenes, there was a lot of very trepidatious sort of stuff going on. I mean, yeah, the sword play in this has made me angry as well, because everyone's sword would be broken in about 30 seconds. It's ridiculous. But so then, like, they're escaping. Like, Talon gets in loads of fights with people. He falls down a fucking chimney.
He swashbuckles his way into a harem as well.
Yeah, that happens. Because then we
Oh,
get
that's
some.
all the lusty bits.
That's the Castle Anthrax bit, yeah.
They break into this thing where there's loads of women just lying about with no tops on, which is what I suspect they do all the time. But and he's in the middle of this fight for his life. Like, a woman looks up at him and he
That's the princess.
Oh, when she's getting the butt massage and he falls
Yeah,
knocked
he
out
falls
the
out the
window.
window.
That's the princess.
Yeah.
right.
She
That
has
makes-
some-
That's why
She's
he's
like,
all like,
"Oh
"Oh
my
my god," because
that's why he does big awooga eyes and like.
yeah,
Right, that makes slightly more sense.
slightly,
Yeah, but he
marginally.
stops fighting because I'm assuming all the blood's rushed away from his arms and head, and just falls down this. But he
No, he
falls.
gets knocked out the window.
No, he falls down a chimney because he lands in the cellar.
No, he gets knocked out a window, but lands down in the street or in the cellar. But it's clearly out a window. It's a proper pratfall. I think it's like a
Well,
spear or something. He gets
It's
it
a
across the
poleaxe.
chest.
He
Waggling
gets
a
hit by the
poleaxe out.
poleaxe.
Poleaxe
Yeah.
across the chest, so he goes like the knees hit the
But
windowsill and out he
He
goes.
falls
He
and
definitely
goes.
falls.
"Ah!"
Yeah, and then he lands on like a whole load of sacks or something.
And he's fine.
Convenient sacks are
I
convenient.
was
If only
half
that
expecting to see
stuntman
a
landed on those
dustbin lid
sacks.
rolling away. Yeah.
Some more guards appear. They fight. Does he get captured at this point?
Yeah, Cromwell appears.
he
and he's
gets
like,
captured
let's see how a sorcerer fares against Cold Steel. And he's like, I'm not a sorcerer.
You are.
I'm just a man who may be attracted to his sister and nobody's noticed yet.
I've got this
Um,
dope sword. Look, Pew! Fires it at him.
They end up in a fountain at one bit of it.
Yeah, that was pretty good. The fight sequence here was better than the end one for me because it was
Yeah.
very running from scene to scene. Like, we've got all these bits. Let's just have a fight in them. But yeah, he gets captured.
Gets bonked on the head by Malecki. And then we've made it. We've made it to the last half hour of this film.
But you think there's going to be no new characters introduced? Boy, are you wrong. Because it cuts right. They're going to get married. Like, Princess is going to marry him to save her brother's life, even though he's escaped.
Yeah, and he's like,
no, it's to save Talon's life at this point.
I think I don't
yeah,
know. I
because
think it might be
Talon
to
is
just
going to be
save her life.
crucified at a wedding
Oh
as well.
yeah. They have him
Whole
bound up
program
on
of events on at this wedding.
all the kings of all the local lands, not just a
Not
land.
just the one land.
Oh
But
no,
all
I've got the names of the lands. It's the
They
the
have
king of the
names?
Franks, the king of the Franks, Valencia,
Uh-huh.
Galicia, and Manoa. So that's 4 European actual places,
Yep.
Oh,
which doesn't make this a fancy film.
it just makes
So-
it like some local people having a squabble.
Yeah.
So anyway, they send like
So anyway,
they send a raven to these fucking people, and we get like to a bunkbed brothel. I've written down.
yeah, because I was like, is this in prison? Because in the very next scene, they're in prison.
Yeah, well, this is it, and it's all these
It's
people.
Darius and Philip. I'm like, who the fuck is Darius and Philip?
Sorry, we've got Rodrigo and Caracas and Philip.
Is that when they're all like just
They're the
opening
mercenaries.
the curtains
Yeah,
and
they're all
being
just
like,
opening
yo,
the curtains. Hang
and
on, I don't mind your.
all the prostitutes look mad pissed off because they're like, hey, I haven't been
I'm not
paid
starting
yet,
again.
Workplace.
for fuck's sake.
But yeah, that's when the mercenaries from the start that came with Talon come back in, and I was
Right.
like,
Is it?
"Oh, those
Right.
guys, yeah,
Right.
So they all
Okay.
have been off getting their end away.
yeah." And then because they're all like, "Oh, where's Talon? He must have gotten himself into some trouble instead of just getting laid like we did, basically."
Yeah.
But then some of them are like, fuck him. Like, he knew the risks. And we're introduced to Captain Morgan, who, is tremendous. Like, the most
He's
British
great.
accent of anyone ever. And he's like, if it wasn't for Talon, all of you would be dead by now, or something. And it's just like, where's this come from? So they all agree to go
He
and...
is one line, I think, where he says half the men in this port owe him his life, and that's
Yeah.
enough, apparently.
Yeah, it's like the fucking midnight bark. There's this big rallying cry to go save Talon.
And the rebellion is
Who
still
apparently
afoot.
nobody knew about until this point.
They've all been shagging, like, I don't know. Johnny Ramone has met with the 3 guys that hang around in that room, the war chiefs. Axe, helmet that's too small for his head. Those 3.
Yeah.
And he says, right, we've got a plan, haven't we, lads? Remember? Axe says he's going to block all the doors. The other guy says he's going to shoot everyone, like the Red Wedding. And the other one says, I'm just going to eat pork pies because I don't really have a job. Right. So I think their plan is that at the wedding, they're just going to murk all the other kings.
Yeah, great plan.
But does he
Yeah,
not
so then he
control
can become-
all the other kingdoms?
No, that's
Are
his
they not
plan.
like
is that-
tributes to him?
I don't know.
Because when some of the lords later are like, damn the treaty or damn the I don't know.
When they see Talon,
No,
Yeah.
no. Well, you move.
they see Talon crucified to that cross, and they're all like, "Well, this isn't what I signed up for.
This is some sort of freaky wedding.
I'm taking my teas made back. This is the worst wedding I've ever been to."
And they own their lives as well, apparently.
Yeah, because one guest recognizes that the prisoner is Talon, and they're like,
That's
"That's
Talon."
Recognize him anywhere.
Well,
even
they
though
look at him and
nobody
go,
else does.
So all these other kings have arrived. They're all sitting down. There's this wedding thing up. There's like a subplot about them trying to murder everyone. All of the people that came to rescue Talon are in prison for some reason, and we don't know why.
Did they deliberately get themselves captured?
Scene missing. Like,
There really is.
Well,
Because
like,
one of them-
was there some prior plot to have the 3 serving girls come down and free them?
Yeah, because that doesn't make
Because
much
that's
sense on
those
its own,
3
does it?
scantily clad ladies that suddenly appear, and they're like, "Who are you?" And she goes, "None of your business."
not free and a not.
The head torturer comes in at one point, and one of them says, "What's on your mind, potato head?"
That's Captain Morgan says that.
Captain Morgan says that. He's
My favorite line.
He's a spicy boy. Yeah, and he's like, he brings Elizabeth in, and he's like, "Tell us where Micah is," or something. And then he stabs her in the throat. He says, "I'll skin her alive," and then he stabs her in the throat. So he's a liar.
Does
she
he
dead?
stab her, or does she stab herself in the throat? Because he looks surprised after she dies.
I think that's just acting.
Did they plan to do that?
Oh, don't tell me she really died as well, because fucking hell.
Alana is getting married while all this is going on. She's got a very booby dress on. That wasn't picked by her. And her
No, that is
plan,
not an appropriate wedding gown.
her plan in all of this is to just not say the wedding vows
Yep.
for ages until something happens.
Stand there. The guy doing the wedding is great because he's got his own made up language as well. He's like, "Repeat after me, bingly boobity doo," and I'm like, "Hang on."
Some of them vows were a bit bloody weird too. It's like, will you like choose to take him as your lover It's a bit
a father
personal.
of your children, and you'll put the bins out on a
Like
Wednesday.
the master, your master. Like
it was a
and
bit.
you could see right up her dress if you were sitting down because it was all slid up the side.
It's a reoccurring theme. This upskirting in our film, James.
It's a good point though, because everyone else is on the gallery below.
Underneath,
aren't they?
there above.
Yeah, they can't see what's going on. They're
Maybe
all
it's like
looking
when
at
they-
No, they can
Mr.
see
fucking
everything that's going
oily
on.
Stretch
Maybe it's like
Armstrong.
when they get a new pope when they have to pass him over on a chair and look up
Yeah.
his skirt to prove that he's not a girl. That's the thing, isn't it? Or have I dreamt that?
Yeah.
No,
it's a thing.
that is
It's
a
a
real thing because
Right.
there was a
Because there
female
was,
imposter pope. Yeah,
Yeah.
she wasn't discovered until she gave birth to a child,
Dirty pope.
which was a surprise for everybody.
She could have just blagged it. It's a gift from Jesus.
It's
Yeah,
a miracle.
Jesus, baby. It's the second. Anyway,
You
so
can't say you don't believe it. Yeah.
they've escaped. All the Captain Phillips, no, Captain Corelli,
It would have been a very
fucking-
different.
Captain Morgan has escaped with all of the other people, and they're just like, we get a scene of them tooling up.
Well, no,
And
the
it's just-
servant girls let them out, I think.
Yeah, they come down
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
go, right, come on, let's move this. Come on, 10 minutes
Because
left.
they're going to kill everybody upstairs and they're going to crucify your man who's currently
Yeah.
going, ah, and trying to rip his hand off the nail.
I mean, that to be fair, that
fucking
was
hell.
metal as fuck. Like, they crucified him
but that-
through his hands.
But that's, well, number one, you can't support your body with the bones in your hand shred, and it would just come out between your fingers. So you have to go through the wrists to actually
no,
get it to hold
I
on
think
properly.
I think he was stood up.
He was on an X. He was on like a St. Andrew's cross. So
Yeah.
he wasn't done properly, not the traditional way. Sorry, I know I
Not properly.
You sound annoyed by that. I wanted to see a man disfigure his hand.
Yeah, no, I want to see him go and him have like the lobster fingers and be like, now my pretty, we shall have our night together.
But we already have salad fingers.
No, but then he would have had like the lobster hands. Also, it would have been hilarious trying to see him pick up the sword.
Well, to be fair, when he gets to the pulling his hands out, they heal up fucking like the crow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're all running about. We see them getting tooled up by they're just handing things over to each other. Here's a sword, here's a spoon, here's a trowel. It's very like just whatever we've got lying about. They start running around the place. They get the torturer. They get Buster Blood Vessel, who's just sharpening his wheel, isn't he, with his little thing, and just mash his face into it. That was quite fun.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
And then that was Captain Morgan who did that, actually, weren't it? Yeah, he gets about.
Leave you rough, Captain Morgan.
They go upstairs. This wedding thing's still going on.
Because she won't say I do.
She won't say I do, which is the trigger word for all of the carnage to happen. Which you think they would have had a backup plan, wouldn't you? Really, like just wait 3 minutes. If she doesn't say anything, just do it anyway. Like, or a hand signal, or just a bird noise. You know, there's loads of options available. All these lads come piling in, and a fight breaks out.
Instead, Talon ironically makes a noise. The one who's named after a bird part, because he rips himself free of this cross. Finally, it's horrible, and then there's just a food fight, as far as I could see. After this, everyone goes for everyone else.
One of the other kings goes. All right, best we get. They've all pulled weapons as well. And they're like, rumble! They go and free Talon's legs, but not his hand. Like, you do that yourself. You've got one out. Surely you're fine. Talon gets his sword thrown at him, spins through the air, and he catches it, and his hand's healed up. And then he goes like full murder rampage. There's a big sword fight between everyone at this point.
There's a fire.
I particularly like the slow motion montage of him tossing guys through the air before he gets the sword. It's like 7 or 8 guys in a row. He just shoulder throws and then throws the guy.
Is it the ending shot of the fight where it's all red behind it? It's a silhouette of the two sides running at each other while he just cannonballs over
That's
them in
that's
the
when
middle.
he catches the sword. Yeah,
It just cannonballs into the middle of the melee.
Art.
Somebody had notions.
Yeah, that'll be good. I've seen that in another film. He gets this sword fighting shoes. There's a good bit where like he cuts through like about 8 blades at once with it.
So it destroys all the blades, and this resulted in an injury when one of the sword shards flew through the air and skewered into
someone's fucking carotid artery.
Talon's scalp. And apparently the director said, "The blood runs down your face. Let's use it." And also, the wig that he was wearing later gave him a scalp infection because of
Jesus Christ. Was all this taking place on like cursed ground or something? Because it feels very... How did he get hit in the head with the sword shot? Oh, I don't even want to think about it.
It's all like flying about when he... Because
he kept it in though, didn't he?
Oh, of course. They've got
Of course
footage
they
of a
do.
man
Beautiful
dying.
footage.
I just like it when he smashes all the swords, and you're like, yeah, go Talon. And you think, what's he going to do now? He's going to stab all these guys. And now the 4 guys just bail on him and pin him to the ground immediately.
Yeah, kicking him out in the kidneys.
That was my favourite sword, you bastard.
It was 2 days from retirement. They roll down into some spooky crypt that's there. And Johnny Ramone appears, and he's like, haha, it was me all along. And we get like a good face splitty prosthetic head rising up
right
thing.
back to the body horror
our second bit of body horror. Yeah.
Which again was great. And it turns out that Johnny Ramone, Count Machiavelli, is Dallas.
It was really funny because before that, she knees him in the bollocks and his voice turns all funny. And I thought, is that because she's kneed him in the bollocks? But no, it was the start of the transition.
There's a good sound effect when she knees him in the bollocks. It just goes, dunk. Like, because
Yeah, he's got Ken crotch.
he's put a glockenspiel down the front.
He's like, I've heard about you.
Yeah, I heard about your one move. I've protected. So then this fight breaks out between like the sort of 3-way fight between Cromwell, Dallas, and Talon. Talon immediately blows his load too soon and fires one of those swords at Dallas, who falls over, supposedly dead? Question mark.
Well, it rockets him partially across the room and into that lovely altar.
There's a lot of people being pulled backwards in this film on strings.
Yeah, there an awful
Gives me the
lot of
fear.
them.
Yeah. And then we get like a Cromwell and Talon. Instead of just shooting him with the other blade he's got, he fires it into the wall next to him.
Yeah, he's like, let's make this a fair fight because you've only got one blade and I have one, and well, technically 2, but it's now
Bollocks
an
to that. He's a
off-balance
mercenary.
sword.
He's not-
Yeah, like why do you suddenly have honor? This guy clearly has none because he's like, ooh, stab him in the back.
Oh, also at this point, the princess is being assaulted by a snake.
Oh, fucking hell. This is Nightmare Circus all over again.
This is very Nightmare Circus all over again. But it gets like...
I forgot about the snake.
But she's just lying there going, "Ugh!" Like genuine terror on her face as the snake's licking her eye. This fight goes out for ages, and they're just hammering away at each other's swords. Like, and it
The
annoys
Freudian
me.
subtext in this film is just layering up over itself. Isn't it?
They're hammering away. He breaks the triple-bladed sword, which is annoying. And then he gently wafts at him. And so he takes the top of the sword off, and lo and behold, there's a small dagger underneath it. For some reason, Cromwell then gets a pole that has 2 butter knife sellotape to the end of it. And I'm like, just use your sword. Fucking stab him with that. You've got range on your side. It cuts across to the princess, and it gets weird at this point because like the snake's writhing between her legs, and I was like, don't like this. This is not nice. They have a fight. Cromwell knocks Talon to the ground, and he's like, right, that's it. Whoever you are, game over, sunshine. And Talon goes, haha, Assassin's Creed. And fucking wrist blades him. He dies. And he goes, I'm Talon. And he goes,
says, who are you?
Oh, of course.
All right.
And I just
who are
point it-
you? Talon, son of Richard. That's not a real name. Richard is a real name.
When he used his stabby gauntlet blade to kill him, I was like, oh, is that the steel gauntlet they keep talking about? Up to that point, I hadn't fucking seen it.
Wait, when did they mention a
Oh,
steel
yeah,
gauntlet?
they do. They
Oh,
all the
they go
time.
in to talk to the mercenary that you only see at the start and in prison, and you never see him again.
Yeah,
He's got
Darius,
no
I
other
think.
Yeah.
features. Like in the police report for this town, it'd just be written up as the man with the steel gauntlet. You know,
Steel
that guy.
gauntlet, yeah.
Yeah,
I
did I
hadn't
miss
noticed
all
it
of
at all.
this?
Yeah.
he's got the fucking fur cloak thing on.
But yeah, how did anybody else see it? I didn't see it until he used it to stab somebody.
No, I think that they literally only mention it in that one prison scene to set up this scene.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was
probably.
I
mentioned
thought
more.
it was
I
just a
don't know.
fun bonus fun thing that he had.
I was like, oh, cool, he picked up something along the way. Cha-ching.
Again, I was kind of disappointed
I
there was
don't
no
know.
quest in this to go and get a weapon that would kill Cromwell, like, because that would have been more useful. But no. So yeah, he stabs him with this fucking blade that apparently is mentioned before, but I missed all of that. I was probably too busy laughing at something else. And then Dallas rocks up again.
Yeah,
And,
pops up, he gets stabbed in the abdomen, and then I wrote stabdomen. I was really pleased with myself.
Yeah,
And he dies. That's it.
he does die in a pretty good way. Like, everyone is like sitting about. Everyone who's won the fight is just sitting on the bodies of the dead people, having like having
Oh,
some
one of
punch.
them's got a prostitute and is very, very happy with himself.
There's two people just laughing their heads off.
Yeah.
This room full of corpses.
Now the endorphins have kicked in. It's like, oh, what have we done? Yeah.
Although it does have my favorite bit of the whole film is in this bit.
Oh yeah.
When everyone's
I
like
think I know
cheering
which
on
bit it
Talon. Because Talon comes out and he's all like victorious and he's got your one who's somehow still in a pristine white dress.
Yeah, no snakes.
No snake on
jersey.
her, but she's also still pristine.
Yep.
And everyone's like cheering him and chanting his name.
Talon.
And everyone stares him out of it and then puts the crown on.
No. Instead of he throws the crown down to Micah.
Does
and
he
then
throw
he goes.
the crown down?
He throws the crown down to Micah.
Does he? I
Is it
didn't
to
see
Micah
that.
or is it to some random guy and then Micah picks
I
it
thought
up?
Micah was just like, fuck you, I'm having
No,
the
he
crown
throws
anyway.
it down.
He throws it down and then he goes, watch this, and swings across over everyone like fucking Tarzan
There's
on this
nowhere
banner.
to go. There's
But
nowhere to go.
yeah, because you're just going to
went
gradually
into a
come to a
wall.
stop and then have to drop down.
It's just
With her as well.
as they swing behind Captain Morgan's head, it cuts to the next shot, so you don't see him inevitably swinging back.
But he's got her over his arm as well, over his shoulder, because fireman's lift is always sexy.
Oh yeah.
So he's got to drop her into the crowd. Wow.
I thought you meant that the chant was your favourite bit because I've
Talon.
never seen anyone forget how to say the word Talon on the spur of the moment. Quite Talon. How we say it?
No,
I just
when Micah picks up the crowd and puts it on and just stares
at
him
Talon
out
in
of
the
it.
head. And the first time we were watching it, we were like, but Talon's the king. Talon is the son
And he's like, no,
of
fuck
the
you,
king
it's my
of this
crown
land
now.
who died 10 years ago. Why is he not the king?
He is the remaining son, yeah. But then also that means that the princess is his sister.
No.
Micah
No. They mentioned it in. We caught it in one of the.
We
other
caught it in
watches
the second watch.
that
Yeah.
No. Shush. Him and her are the son and daughter of the king's closest advisor, who was all that was left after the king died. So according to line of succession, they're the next in line.
All right, that's not so bad then.
Oh, thank God! I've been living with that.
Yeah, we narrowly skirted that incest
we
route.
spent the whole time. But yeah, when we watched it the second time, there's a throwaway line from the barman who's trying to recruit them all at the I think it's actually after it cuts outside and you see outside the tavern, but you still hear him talking and he says that.
Yeah.
He says,
I should have listened more to Exposition Jim. He had all the news.
It was
Crikey!
something like they're the ones that, because they're leading the rebellion, and they're the ones that the people of a land consider to be the rightful heirs for some reason, because they think everybody else.
Talon's just cool. It's like, cool, I'm just going to go off and do some more
whoring and
mercenarying.
Well,
and
he's like,
generaling.
right, well, I get one night and I've done loads of stuff, so expect,
don't call me when everything gets itchy.
There's gonna be chafing, yeah. And then he just gets on his horse. Some other lad shows up and he's like, I'm coming with you now.
Who was that?
Who the fuck
Who
was
was that? I have no idea.
And he's like, oh, we best go and help that other king that we said we'd help, but he's probably here at this. Surely. Because all the other kings are here.
King Lambosha of Matalan.
King Frank Lampard of... Yeah, I don't... It just fucking felt like they'd forgotten what they'd done previously, a lot of this.
Yeah.
Do you remember Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like when one of those goes wrong.
It's like if you read them just page by page.
Yeah, it's just instead of doing
I'm dead, but now I'm alive again? I've been captured, and then I'm free, and then I'm captured. No.
Or
there's also
when you used
good,
to remember what page you were on, and you'd go and you'd read forward and make sure you'd made the right decision, or go back
you keep your finger on that page.
Yeah.
86. Oh no, dead.
This is what this film is like. It's like they keep going back and going and trying another path.
Maybe.
Eventually, one of them will be good.
Yeah, it'll work out in the end.
But yeah, this lad appears, and he's like, "Yeah, okay, you can be in our gang." And then they go off.
This man goes, so your debt's been paid, General. Aye. So you'll be going now then. Aye.
What debt?
Shagging his sister.
Yeah.
All right.
Because also Micah was like, we can pay you. Didn't say that, did he? He's like, nah, go on, have a go.
Everyone else has, you may as well.
Yeah. And then it ends. We get and then Talon went off to do other stuff.
There's a little message that appears after
but there is a message that says, go on.
Yeah.
Watch for Talon's next adventure, Tales of the Ancient Empire, coming soon, which is doing a lot of work for several violent decades.
And that's the film. Tales of it did get made.
It did, yeah.
It did, and I kind of want to have to watch it now.
Yeah,
It's
I
got,
think
if anything, it's got a
Sorbo in
lower
it.
score on IMDb.
Oh, mate, I'm just looking through IMDb now, and there's something called The Barbarians, right? But it says warriors, conquerors, heroes. The Barbarian brothers are the Barbarians. And I'm fucking on board. It's two roided up Ultimate Warrior looking motherfuckers with swords. It looks tremendous. Anyway,
Brilliant.
yeah. That was The Sword and the Sorcerer. James, your score.
I'm going to put it in silver territory. I think it deserves that. There was enough of it, and it was violent enough. I'm going to give it 1 silver skull tomb.
Okay. Mono, Ciara, your scores?
I did. I
It's a
had
tough one
fun.
to score, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is a tough one to score. I had fun. I had
that
problems.
this had some weird underground cult following,
Yeah.
maybe in the form
If
of
someone
a role-playing game.
got hold of the original prints of this and cut it into a sensible film, it would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that so many things happen and you're going, wait, are they in prison or are they out of prison now? It's very...
I feel like if they had made more of them and it was just following Talon going about on his adventures, it would kind of make more sense.
Yeah.
Not so many characters, anyway.
No.
Too
many
But like,
characters.
if it was part of like a world, a greater universe, instead of being this complete mashup of here you go, here's some a land with violence and one sorcerer that will wear
Just
off.
one sorcerer.
Because
Well, it
magic
does say-
comes into it nowhere else.
It's called The Sword and the Sorcerer. It's not called The Sword and the Sorcerers.
Yeah, but neither the sword or the sorcerer seem to be of any major use to the plot.
At least not for the kind of middle chunk of the film.
No, well, he was off getting his eyes glued back in, weren't he? The fucking lad. Like,
But like the sword isn't even really that useful.
it fires smaller swords at people.
Not well.
No. Well, I mean, it always hits its target.
It's got
like-
that fucking
The
no,
back
it
of its
doesn't.
target.
It's got that fucking stormtrooper aiming going on.
Go to your scores then.
Oh yes, I think I'm with James. I think I'll give it silver. I think I'll give it 2 silver.
Lance.
2 silver, 1 lands.
Ciara?
No, I've got to go into bronze territory because it's got potential, but it's too all over the place. So, what else was there?
Hissy witches.
There was one bronze hissy witch going on.
I'm going to give it 3 silver butt massages.
Because that stayed with you, did it?
Now I know it was the princess. That whole bit makes so much more sense. Oh, also, why was the witch licking that dude's fingers at the start?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, just getting the bean juice off him. I don't know. Strange. Yeah.
And it was after this that Noel Edmonds...
It's the evolution of Mr. Blobby.
Yeah, so that was Sword and the Sorcerer in 1982, also known as L'Épée Sauvage, or the Wild Sword in France, clearly just basing it all on what they thought was the agent of this film. Talon's Sword, Fight Against Magic, it was known as in Hungary, or in Japan, Magic Quest Makai Sword. I don't know what Makai means. It was also the same year as Hugh, the Winged Serpent, and
Yes!
The Aftermath. So it's very rich territory for this podcast.
Oh, what a
Previously
year.
appeared on him. What a year. It was nominated for 6 awards at the 1983 Saturn Awards, which are apparently the Academy of Science Fiction, Fantasy and Horror Films, of which it was all of them. And it actually won an award, Best Supporting Actor for Richard Lynch, Titus Cromwell.
Well,
Don't think
he's a fun old character.
He's a proper theatre actor, and I had fun looking him up, but that comes later, I think, anyway, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you could do it. It's fine.
I thought I had a new hero in him because when I was looking him up, he's a Irish parents, so I did think it was a little bit cruel making him play somebody called Cromwell. But he played 4 instruments. He spoke 5 languages. He was an honorary member of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, blah 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 blah. He was in both the pilot and the finale of Starsky and Hutch. and he
Bookended it.
yeah, he donated his body to medical science. And my favorite bit of trivia about him was he set himself on fire behind MoMA while on LSD.
I mean, you saved the best till last there, didn't you?
I was going to say, come out of left wing. Did he leave his body to science and then was like, it will be charred?
But I thought, oh wow, like this guy is a definite hero. And just as I was about to go back out of his page on IMDb, I saw a quote from him that ruined it, because the quote was, "I've always felt like a thoroughbred without the proper track to run on." And I just thought, what a tosser.
Mate, you're in this with your stick-on beard.
Yeah.
Apparently, this inspired a line of toy three-bladed swords. I've looked for ages. I wasn't able to find a three-bladed sword inspired by this. Otherwise, I might have bought it.
Oh, mate, I've got a 3D print one.
There is. I've not checked this out yet, but feel free to go out there and get back to us on what you think. There's a video game adaptation of this that was programmed by ColecoVision. The ColecoVision system?
Coleco, yeah.
All right, I've never heard of it.
It's very early, sort of Atari 2600 era.
All right. Well, apparently there's like a prototype version of it. There's an emulator version of it, and you can sort of play it as a demo. And I don't know whether it's just like throwing people left, right, and center or something, but
Just firing knives at people willy-nilly.
But yeah, go out there, find out for us, get back to us on it. The budget for this was $4 million, and it made just shy of $40 million at the box office, which is incredible. It was apparently, according to Wikipedia, the most profitable film of 1982. Is that bullshit? I don't know. But it would be enough to make 39 sequels, as the sequel to this Tales of the Ancient Empire had a budget of $1 million.
E.T. came out in 1982. Mind you, how big was that budget?
That's probably profitable based on
actual like ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was directed by Albert Pion, I think his surname is pronounced. He's from Hawaii. This was his first ever film. He said that he shopped it around Hollywood for about 4 years. And he even snuck a script into Charlton Heston's dressing room. But he was like told more than once by security. He said that he
Get out!
Called if he didn't leave. I was such a pest.
Heston will shoot you.
He's blamed so much on the cinematographer and the producers as well having a terrible conflict, and that's blamed for everything that went wrong with the film. He doesn't accept any part of it. He also went back to Honolulu and called the theatre chain after he released it, and they thought that I was a pest, he says, but he wanted them to know that he made it. Everyone thought he was a pest.
Maybe you are. If everyone says you're a pest, you probably are a pest.
But apart from Tales of the Ancient Empire, he's also released Interstellar Civil War, which has a winsome name, you've got to admit. A Snoop Dogg film, Urban Menace, in 1999.
Oh, Urban Menace, Urban Pest, it was originally called. It was about him.
Of course it was. And Radioactive Dreams, 1984, about detectives in a post-apocalyptic world who want to launch another nuke. So yeah.
Just to see if it goes back round the top of the system again and everything grows back.
Talent was played by Lee Horsley, later went on to be in a well-known TV series, Paradise. I've never watched it, in the late 80s. He also has a bit part in Django Unchained. And he also reappears in Tales of the Ancient Empire, although apparently for not very long. And just as
he gets so on fire at him.
On his Wikipedia, he says that he's hunted all over the world, including in Africa and Argentina.
I saw that as well.
Weird
weird
two
thing
places to
do.
mention.
Yeah.
One's a continent, one's a country, but yeah.
Hunted what?
People.
Does it say?
Yeah, because
just as he's hunted all over the world, including Africa and Argentina.
All of it.
And now the B countries I've hunted.
Alana was played by Kathleen Bella, got a start in films with a part in Godfather Part 2, appeared for a while in Dynasty as well for like 40-odd episodes, so that was pretty good.
Not Dallas.
She was also in a 1978 film, Having Babies 3, which quite like, what was 1 and 2 about?
Having babies, mate.
And Time Trackers, 1989, when an evil scientist steals his colleague's time machine, his colleague's beautiful, brilliant daughter, aided by an LA cop and a hapless admirer, pursues him back to 12th century England, where disguised as a damsel in distress, she enlists the help of a knight-errant whose secret past holds the key to her future.
I think I've seen that. Yeah, I think I've seen that. That sounds vaguely familiar.
I was going to say that sounds like one of James's summaries.
It feels like there was a lot of things in there.
It will
you say-
be
Why
like mercilessly
specifically
recycled.
a hapless admirer?
Hapless. Not
Hapless.
Suspect is hatless. I repeat, hatless.
That steel gauntlet thing. And I'll finish on this one. Krakus, the man at the inn, was Jeff Murray. He shot first-hand footage of kamikaze attacks on aircraft carriers in World War II, for which he has received an official citation. After that, his act career was immediately halted because he was suspected of communism after World War II and summoned before the House Un-American Activities Committee in the early 50s. He refused to give any names to the committee, ridiculed the panel, and was blacklisted for 12 years. That's why he's in this film.
Oh,
So-
well, I quite like
yeah.
him now then.
Yeah.
Good on you, Caracas. Solidarity,
he said-
brother.
he said, I knew I just couldn't be an informer. I know I've got guts and I care so much for my country, and I demonstrated it. So yeah, good on you, mate.
Russia
And
being
thus-
his country.
Thus, James Fax is consumed in flames.
Oh. The reviews. It's a mixed bag because it does have, like Kira said, that weird cult following of
Weird
people
nerds.
who just love it. And then there's people who have seen it for what it sort of is, which is a terrible mess of absolute nonsense. So we'll start with that. 1-star review, absolute garbage by Michelle, some numbers. This film is an incomprehensible steaming pile of cat feces, spelt wrong. It makes absolutely no sense. The transitions are murky as hell, and the characters are so bland it's difficult to keep track of who is speaking at any given moment. These are all genuine criticisms. It's also dark, as they neglected to light the sets half the time, and it appears to have been filmed through several inches of Vaseline. Perhaps this was an effort to impart a dreamy feel, but they only succeeded in portraying the actors as animated piles of goop. The writer's attempts at sauciness are banal at best, insulting at worst, and always irritating. I would sooner watch a group of 8-year-olds running around the backyard in tablecloth capes, screaming, "Forsooth!" Some of the actors became quite successful later in the decade. It's a wonder they didn't pool their funds to have every copy of this cinematic pustule located and destroyed. That's a bit harsh, man.
That's
Sounds like the
that
House
bad.
Un-American Activities Committee.
Like, it's fine. Like, I'm probably never going to watch it again, but I might do one day. I'll put.
Oh, I might make some people watch it. Just,
You
go
might
and
get
watch it, it'll
more
be
out of
good.
it.
Yeah.
Like the more you watch it, you'll be like, "That's who he is." Because like you didn't know where that steel gauntlet came from until the second time through. Like, so maybe 5th, 6th, 7th time, you'll be like, "Oh,
Masterpiece.
yeah." But it requires repeated viewing. It's 10 out of 10. Rips off Howard to good effect. Howard. Hey, if you're going to steal, show a little taste and steal something good. They did that here, lifting at least 2 scenes almost verbatim from 2 of the original Conan creator Robert E. Howard's original Conan tales.
Not
The
just
resurrect-
some low pirate.
I mean, I think every sort of sword and sorcery thing is basically Conan anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
The resurrection of the ancient sorcerer in his tomb scene is almost plagiarized from Howard's. Wait, you said verbatim, and now you're going almost plagiarized from Howard's 1-novel length Conan tale, The Hour of the Dragon, aka Conan the Conqueror. And the crucifixion scene with the hero ripping his nailed hands free from the wood comes straight out of Howard's A Witch Shall Be Born. I think someone likes Conan a bit too much and they're showing off here, innit? That's what they're doing. I just wish 1982's other big sword and sorcery movie, Conan the Barbarian, had been half as faithful to the source material it was supposed to be adapting and half as much fun as this delightful, low-budget, low-tech rip-off.
I love
mean-
book nerds. They're so catty, aren't they?
Yeah, but Conan, Conan are not good books. Well, the 2 I read weren't, anyway. It's a lot of talking and not enough stabbing. That's what you want, isn't it? Watch the film. I like the Arnie film, the first one. Second one's not as good.
I
But,
didn't even know there were books.
oh, there's a whole series of them. Conan goes to the shops. Conan and the maroon capes. Yeah. There's
Conan goes to camp.
Conan forgets his purse and has to put all his stuff back. Yeah. There's loads. But is this better than Conan? No, it isn't. is it?
No.
That's
In
it.
conclusion,
In conclusion, that was 1982's The Sword and The Sorcerer. Before we go, Mono, Ciara, where can people find you?
You can. Sorry, my brain hurts.
I mean, I only watched these films once, and I had to watch these twice in the vain hope that some of it might make sense.
I watched it twice because that's what we normally do, but
It didn't
I don't
help.
know. Yeah, it didn't help any.
It just raised more questions.
Every answer you get, more questions spring forth like a hydra's head.
But yes, you can find us on wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Monorants the Boys or Monorants at the Movies. And you can come and find us on Twitter at rantsmono or send emails to monorantspodcast@gmail.com. I'm not even going to bother with Instagram because just don't go there.
Yeah, I don't know how it works either. I very much enjoyed your. I forgot how good actually the Human Centipede was, the first one.
Yes, the first one. That's a very important clarification.
Like, yeah, the second and third one are trash. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the first one, I was like, I'm gonna have to rewatch that now. Yeah, it was good. Kind of annoyed you didn't get me on for the Warriors though, but whatever.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's just.
But we saved a better one for you.
I know. It's fine. But yeah, go listen. Your boy stuff is very good as well because you know way more about that than I do, and I thought I knew quite a bit about it. So it's always interesting. It's always interesting to hear people who appreciate the things that you appreciate, but know more about it, but not in a smug way, like Conan fucking O'Doyle here. Yeah. That was 1982's Sword and the Sorcerer. Your favourite lines from the film?
What's on your mind, Potato Head?
That was my one.
There weren't many good lines.
I did like, that's a small threat, a very small threat.
Well, it was also similarly, is your sword for hire? I hope so. He means his cock. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Have you read the plot summary on IMDb for this?
No.
Because it has the amazing phrase, 1 violent decade later.